These videos take a long time to record and edit. It would mean a lot to me if you could leave a like and subscribe. If you enjoy this video, leave a comment about your favorite part. It will get pinned and hearted. Now let's get into the story. A blast from the cannon fire knocked Luffy and Aisle away from each other, and now they were rapidly plummeting to the ground. "You idiot! This is all your fault," screamed Aisle as she continued to fall. "If I die from this, I'm going to haunt you for the rest of your life." Luffy screamed in fear as tears ran from his eyes. "Aisle, I'm sorry," cried Luffy. "Don't haunt me." Tears and snot were now running down his face. The two twins were descending faster down on the opposite sides of the island. Aisle was too far away for Luffy to stretch his arm. "Aisle," shouted Luffy. "Luffy," shouted Aisle. Luffy fell hard to the ground, landing on his head. Aisle fell into a tree, crashing on every branch on the way down until she hit the ground. Aisle closed her eyes as she fell unconscious. Luffy groaned as he sat up, rubbing his head. "That was awesome," he exclaimed, jumping into the air and landed on his feet. But as soon as he turned around, Luffy noticed that he wasn't alone. A group of pirates and a young girl with orange hair was staring at him. Luffy's eyes widened when he recognized her. It was the same girl he saw back on the boat. He stared back at her. "She's kind of cute," thought Luffy to himself. The girl smiled. "Hi, boss. Thanks for coming to save me," she said in cheery voice. Luffy blinked and tilted his head, giving her a confused look. "Huh?" he asked. The girl giggled. "Who are you?" asked Luffy. Then the girl suddenly turned and started running away. "They're all yours, boss. Have fun," she shouted. Luffy scratched his head. "Girls are weird," thought Luffy. He turned to the three men who were glaring at him. "Say, do you know a good place where a guy like me can get something good to eat?" he asked. The pirates glared at him, narrowing their eyes into slits, and raised their swords. "You're dead, kid. You should have let your crony fend for herself," snarled one of the pirates. Luffy placed a hand on his stomach. "Do you guys know of a good place to eat around here?" he said. "Food's the least of your problems, kid," yelled one of the men as he threw a punch at Luffy's head. Luffy gasped as the straw hat fell off his head. He made a fist and his arm stretched as he punched the guy in the face, sending him flying a few feet away. Luffy grabbed his hat and placed it back on his head. "You better keep your hands off my hat," he growled. "You bastard," yelled the other two pirates. They were in disbelief and shock at how strong the boy was. They charged at Luffy with their swords. Luffy bent back and shot two of his fists at them as he stretched his arms. "Gum gum pistol," he shouted as he punched the two pirates in the face, knocking them out cold. The orange-haired girl stared from the top of the roof in awe. "Wow, you sure are strong," she called out to Luffy. Luffy looked up and blinked. "Even though they had swords, you beat them both barehanded. That's pretty cool," the girl said as she jumped off the roof and landed on her feet. "Who are you, and why did you set me up?" asked Luffy. "I'm a talented thief who steals from idiot pirates. The name's Nami. Say, wanna be a team?" asked Nami. Luffy crossed his arms behind his head. "No, I'm good. Thanks for the offer though," he said and started to walk away. "Hey, come on, at least think about it," called Nami as she started to follow after the Straw Hat pirate. Luffy felt his stomach growl loudly and he fell to his knees and sighed. "I'm still hungry," he mumbled as he rubbed his stomach. Nami held her hand out. "Well, come with me and I'll get you something to eat," she said. Luffy jumped up on his feet with a wide grin on his face, his eyes sparkling happily. "Really?" he cheered. Nami blinked. "What a weird guy," thought Nami to herself. Nami had led Luffy to an abandoned house and fixed the pirate up a hamburger and some rolls. She placed them on the table and took a seat across from him. Luffy's eyes sparkled as he saw the hamburger in front of him and picked it up. This is really good," said Luffy as he happily ate his burger in one bite. "So, do you live here all by yourself?" asked Luffy as he chewed. "No, this isn't my home. I'm just staying here for a while. Everyone left when Captain Buggy and his crew showed up," said Nami. Luffy made a loud burp. "Oh, I see. You're just a petty thief," he said. "How rude. I don't steal just from anybody. just people who deserve it. Like no good pirates. So don't be comparing me to petty thieves and robbers, said Nami. Luffy took a big bite out of a roll as he munched down on it. A thief's a thief, as far as I'm concerned, he said with a shrug. Nami looked out the window. My goal is to get 100 million berries, and I won't let nothing or no one stop me from reaching my goal, she said. Luffy gulped down the rest of his food. Who do you need so much money? He asked. Nami crossed her arms. That's a secret, but with this chart of the Grand Line, my goal will soon come true, she said. Luffy placed his hand on his chin. A chart. So you must be a navigator, right? He asked. Nami smiled and nodded. Yep, I bet I'll be the most skilled navigator you'll ever meet, she said. Luffy smiled and stood up. That's great. How would you like to join my crew? I've been looking for a navigator, he said. Nami grinned. You mean it? She asked. Luffy grinned and nodded. Yeah, you can be our newest crew member, he said. The grin from Nami's face fell. No, she said as her voice went flat. Luffy's grin from his face disappeared. Nami frowned. Let me guess, you're on a pirate crew, right? Asked Nami in a disdained tone. Luffy grinned. Yeah, he said as he took off his straw hat holding it in his hand. I promised a guy who gave me this hat that I'll be a pirate and gather a strong crew, he said. Suddenly, Nami's hands slammed on the table. She had a hard glare on her face. There's nothing more in this world that I despise more than pirates. I only like money and tangerines, she yelled. Luffy placed his hat back on his head. Come on, join my crew, he said. Nami stared at the boy with a look of disbelief. The more she stared, the more Nami felt her heart flutter as unknown feeling overwhelmed her, clouding her mind. There was no possible way that she liked this boy. Could she? Nami sighed, then she looked away, out the window. No, she said as she looked out the window with her arms crossed. Luffy shrugged and began eating again. Your loss, he said as he ate his food. Suddenly, Nami spotted some of Buggy's pirates searching around in the streets. When they walked away, Nami clenched her teeth. Damn, I gotta ditch these losers somehow. But how? She wondered, then she looked back at Luffy. A smirk appeared on her face as she walked over towards the Straw Hat Captain. You know what? Maybe I will join your crew. There's just a certain condition I have, though, she said. Luffy looked up. Really? Okay, I'll do whatever you want, he said. Nami's eyes danced with delight. Okay, I want you to come with me to meet Buggy the pirate. Let me tie you up, so, you can look good in front of Buggy. These are how new pirates meet each other, she said as she pulled out a rope from her pocket and began to tie Luffy up. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, cheered Luffy as he beamed excitedly. Nami rolled her eyes and nodded. Okay, just hold your horses, she said as she and the captain walked out of the house. The men of Buggy's crew silently whispered to each other as Nami and Luffy passed them. They stopped at a giant tent. Nami pushed Luffy to the ground. Luffy landed on his face and Nami stuck her tongue at him. She walked into the tent holding out a map. I brought the thief, Captain Buggy. Here's your chart back, said Nami as she walked over to a man. The man had light blue hair like the sky, small black eyes. He was wearing an orange coat and hat and clown makeup. And also, what stood out the most was that he had a big round red nose. Not that I don't appreciate it, but why the sudden change of heart? Little girl, asked Captain Buggy as Nami handed him the chart. I never really liked my boss, and I just got sick of it. I want to see if I can join your crew. Nami lied. Captain Buggy's face began to twist as he grew angrier and snarled. His crew began to mumble to themselves, worried. Avo, the captain's angry. He's gonna use his devil fruit power. Really? Asked Luffy. He looked at Captain Buggy curiously, wondering what his devil fruit power was. Then Captain Buggy began snorting and laughing like a maniac. He calmed down and looked at Nami, fed up with, are you? All right, you seem like a fine young lady. Of course you can join, said Buggy as he began laughing again. Nami gave a fake smile. What a doofus. Pirates are such idiots, she thought. Hey, guys, why am I in a cage? Asked Luffy, who was still tied up. He was now in a stone metal cage. The crew snickered at him. Buggy snorted. What a fine day to be a pirate. Tell me, girl, what's your name? The captain asked Nami. I'm Nami, she said. Buggy threw his hands in the air. Then let's celebrate the welcoming of our new member. Nami, he yelled. He and his crew threw a party and celebrated. The crew members were drinking sake and performing circus tricks. Nami sat across from Buggy from a table that was filled to the top with food. Luffy's mouth watered at the sight of it. He sighed sadly. What's the matter, Nami? The party's in your honor, so have some fun, asked Buggy as he took a sip of his drink of sake. Nami smiled. Thanks for the party, Captain, she said. I'll just wait a little longer to get to that chart back. Maybe I'll steal some of Buggy's loot while I'm at it, she thought as she took a bite out of her food. While everyone was partying, Luffy stretched his arm out trying to reach for a piece of meat. But he couldn't reach it and his hand snapped back to him. Damn it, cursed Luffy. All right, men, it's time to perform the Buggy Ball, cheered Captain Buggy. The crew members cheered and they brought a giant cannon and a large red cannonball. What are you gonna do with that thing? Asked Nami as she raised an eyebrow. The big-nosed captain smirked. Just observe, my friend, he said. The cannon was lit and was aimed at the town. Both Luffy's and Nami's eyes widened in shock. B-O-O-O-N. Zoro's raised his eyebrow as he stared at the burning building. He and the pirates found a port and docked the boat and saw the house suddenly explode from the Buggy Ball. That was a hell of any explosion, said the swordsman. That must have been Captain Buggy's most awesome Buggy Balls, said one of the men in awe. Zoro smirked and nearly chuckled. Buggy Balls, he asked. Then something caught his eye in the distance. He walked over and his eyes widened in shock as he saw that it was Aya. Zoro rushed over to her, checking the girl over. She wasn't moving, but he could see her chest rise and fall slowly as she breathed. Zoro twitched his eye. She was sleeping. He bent down to his knees and slapped the girl on the cheeks gently. Oi, wake up, said Zoro. Aya groaned as she opened her eyes and she saw Zoro staring at her. Her eyes widened and she quickly sat up. She accidentally banged her forehead against his when she did. They both grabbed their forehands in pain. What the hell? Shouted Zoro. Aya hissed through her teeth, holding her head. She quickly moved away from the swordsman. What are you doing? Shouted Aya as she scooted away, but her back hit the tree. You're the one who was lying on the ground unconscious. Remember, said Zoro. Aya blushed and she crossed her arms over her chest, embarrassed. Then she narrowed her eyes at the swordsman, glaring at him. Zoro shivered from her icy stare. Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine, she said coldly. Aya began to stand up, but as soon as she did, Aya suddenly began to feel lightheaded and she began to fall forward. Zoro caught her just before she fell. Aya blushed as she realized her face was pressed close against Zoro's chest. She had never been this close to another man besides her brother. Stop moving around so much, said Zoro as he held Aya's shoulders, steadying her. Aya pushed the swordsman away from her. Don't tell me what to do, said Aya. Fine then, the next time you fall, I won't catch you, said Zoro as he muttered under his breath. Ungrateful brat. Then suddenly Aya began coughing. Zoro raised an eyebrow. Aya clutched her shirt as she tried to stifle her cough, but it kept getting worse. Are you all right? Asked Zoro. He reached a hand out to her, but Aya slapped it away. Aya reached into her pocket and pulled out a small bag. Zoro saw her shaking it and a small pill plopped right into her hand. She took it and little by little her cough started to manage itself, and eventually it went away. Are you sick or something? Asked Zoro. Something like that, said Aya in a monotone voice. She put the bag back into her pocket. As long as I take this, it should lessen some of the coughing. Does Luffy know that you're sick? Asked the swordsman. Aya looked away from him. Yes, said Aya, as she answered simply. Zoro looked at the girl with a serious look in his eyes. Something by the tone of her voice was off. She wasn't telling the truth. There was something more than she was letting on. Did Luffy know that there was something wrong with her? Why didn't he say anything? Did he even know how sick she was? Thought the Zoro to himself. He sighed. He was going to have to keep a close watch on Aya just in case something did happen. He growled in annoyance. Great, how did he turn from a swordsman into a babysitter? Zoro placed a hand on his face in frustration. Then he heard a snapping sound which made him break out of his thoughts. Zoro blinked. He saw Aya snapping her fingers in front of his face. Enough questions. We've already wasted a lot of time as it is, said Aya. She looked at the burning house that was hit by the buggy ball. And knowing my brother, we probably don't have much. She began to walk away. Hey, wait, called out Zoro. Aya smirked. She turned around to him. Aya, hold her hand out. You can hold my hand if you want. So, you won't get lost, said Aya in a teasing tone in her voice. A vein appeared on Zoro's head. Are you asking me to kick your butt? Growled Zoro. Aya laughed. Come on, let's go find my stupid brother, she said. Buggy's crew members cheered at the explosion and Captain Buggy smirked. That was certainly flashy. With the power of my buggy balls and devil fruit powers, nothing will stop me from conquering the Grand Line. Right, Nami? Asked Buggy. Nami made a fake smile. Yes, of course, she said. What? But it's my destiny to conquer the Grand Line, shouted Luffy. Captain Buggy's jaw clenched as he turned to look at the Straw Hat Captain in the cage, glaring at him. And then I'll be the king of the pirates, said Luffy. Shut up, idiot, yelled Nami. Captain Buggy chuckled. I see why you despise him as your boss, Nami. He seems quite the nuisance, he said. Nami smiled, nervously. Yep, he's so naive. He acts like a little kid, she said. Captain Buggy chuckled again. Then why don't I give you a buggy ball to end his life? He asked. Nami's breath hitched as she stared at the clown captain with wide eyes. What? She asked. This is the perfect way to prove your loyalty. Boys, said Buggy. His men brought over the cannon and aimed it at Luffy. Luffy stared at it blankly. Buggy handed Nami a box of matches. But come on, take his life. You don't like him anyway, right? Buggy interrupted her. Nami stared at the matches in his hand as the crew cheered around her. Fire, fire. If I don't light it, then I'll get killed. But if I do, then I'm no better than them, thought Nami with a worried look. She looked at Luffy, who stared at her, who had an unreadable expression on his face. I know you won't do it. You're not that kind of person, thought Luffy. Nami looked down as she clenched her fist tightly. Finish him, Nami, yelled Buggy. What's the matter? Your hands are shaking, called Luffy. He had a light smile on his face. That's what happens when you take on pirates with half-done resolve, said Luffy. What resolve? To take a life of another. Is that the way of the pirate? Asked Nami. Luffy shook his head. No, you gotta be risking your own life, he said, smirking. Nami's hands continued to shake. Suddenly, the matches were taken from her as they were ripped out of Nami's hands by one of the crew members and lit the match. Both Luffy's and Nami's eyes widened, and in a flash, Nami quickly pulled out a long pole and smacked the guy on the head, knocking him out. Everyone went silent and gasped. Nami, what is the meaning of this? Yelled Buggy furiously. I'm sorry, shouted Nami. So now you want to save me? Asked Luffy, confused. No way, you moron. I will never stoop to these guys' levels. Pirates took the life of someone very dear to me, and I'll never join them. Ever, yelled Nami. Luffy nodded, understanding. Oh, I see, he said. Suddenly, Luffy saw that the cannon was lit and was aimed at him. Nami, help, he screamed. Get her, yelled Buggy. His crew members ran at the girl with their swords. Nami easily dodged them, and without wasting a second, she rushed over to the cannon and grabbed the lit fuse. Nami gritted her teeth tightly as she tried not to scream as the fire singed her skin. She sighed in relief as the flames went out. Look out, yelled Luffy as he saw pirates coming at Nami from behind. They brought their swords down on her. Nami gasped and she closed her eyes. But nothing happened. Slowly, Nami opened her eyes and everyone let out a gasp. Zoro had blocked the swords from reaching Nami as he held them back. Aya walked up. It's wrong to gang up on a lady, said Zoro. Luffy's face broke out into a grin. Zoro, Aya, boy, am I glad to see you, he said happily. Aya looked over at her brother in the cage. Can't keep yourself out of trouble, can you? Asked Aya. Maybe I should just leave you in there. It'll save me the trouble. She smirked. Luffy growled. You better let me out of here. Aya, this isn't funny, shouted Luffy. Zoro looked at Nami. You all right? He asked. Nami nodded her head slowly. Yeah, thanks, she said. Nami stared at Aya in shock. There's two of them, thought Nami to herself in disbelief. And here I thought one was bad enough. Zoro nodded and looked at Luffy. This is just swell. First you get caught by a bird and now you're in a cage. Sheesh, you're a glutton for punishment. How? He asked. Luffy giggled. It's actually a funny story, really. I'll tell you about it later. He said. The crew he mentioned earlier are these two, and is that the great pirate hunter, Roronoa Zoro. Nami wondered as she stared at the swordsman with wide eyes. Heh, so you're the legendary Roronoa Zoro. If you're here for my head, then that will be quite a problem for you, said Bunny. Zoro closed his eyes. No, I'm not interested. I gave up on pirate hunting. I'm here for my friend, he said in a low monotone voice. Buggy smirked. But I'm interested, though. Killing you would boost up my reputation. He snickered. Then Buggy's eyes glanced over towards Aya. Maybe I'll go for the girl first. Zoro's eyes widened and he gave a cold glare. If you try, you die, said the swordsman. Aya tilted her head as she looked at Zoro. Why was he so protective over her all of a sudden? She thought to herself. Buggy crackled and pulled out 6 daggers, twirling them with his fingers. Is that so? Asked the clown pirate captain in a teasing tone in his voice. Zoro sighed in frustration and furrowed his eyebrows. I tried to warn you, he muttered. The crew members cheered for their captain as he licked the blade of his dagger. Zoro gripped one of his katanas between his teeth while he held the other 2 in his hands. Then Buggy rushed towards the swordsman with his 6 daggers. He jumped into the air. Zoro leaped as well and his swords cut through the clown captain in one sweep, slicing him into many pieces. Zoro turned to the pirate lying on the ground. That went much of a fight, was it? He asked. Well, he was weak. Way to go, Zoro, cheered Luffy. Nami blinked when she noticed that Buggy's crew members were snickering. Why are they laughing? Asked Luffy, confused. Their captains is dead and they're laughing. Asked Nami, confused as well. Zoro raised his eyebrow. Hey, fellas, why are you? Aya interrupted the swordsman as she saw something move behind him. Behind you, warned Aya. Zoro's eyes suddenly widened as he felt a sharp stab of pain in his abdomen. He looked behind him and what he saw made Luffy, Nami and Aya gasp. Buggy's severed hand, which was holding a dagger, was the one that stabbed the swordsman. Zoro fell to his knees as blood began to stain through his shirt. Zoro, cried Luffy. The Straw Hat's eyes widened as panic began to rush over him. Buggy's hand, it moved on its own, exclaimed Nami. But how is that possible? He was dead. We all saw it happen, shouted Aya. Zoro shut one eye in pain as he turned his back. The severed hand flew back and reattached itself to the clown pirate, who was now standing completely intact. What the hell? Chalked out Zoro. He stared at the pirate in disbelief as his breathing began to become irregular. Buggy snickered and made a sickening smirk. The chop fruit. That is the name of the devil fruit that gave me my powers. I'm a chop person and I can never be defeated by a sword. Ever, laughed Bunny. His body reattached himself. And though the legend of the devil fruit was just a myth, said Nami. So he's a chop man. That's pretty weird, said Luffy. You think that's weird? You're made out of rubber, shouted Aya. Buggy began crackling. Wait, he has devil fruit powers too, exclaimed Nami as she looked at Luffy. Yep, said the Straw Hat captain as he pulled back his mouth to show her. See? Asked Luffy. Nami paled and she looked away from him. You're not really helping right now, Luffy, said Aya. You're freaking her out even more. Nami was still trying to wrap her head around what she had saw. Then she looked at Aya. Please don't tell me you devil fruit powers as well, asked Nami. Aya shook her head. Nami sighed in relief. I didn't hit any vital organs, but it looks like my dagger stabbed you good. So that makes me the victor, laughed the clown captain as his crew snickered along with him. Zoro gritted his teeth and shut his eyes. No, that makes you a cheater, shouted Aya. Buggy glared at the sea-foam-eyed girl. Do you want to die, girl? Growled Buggy. Come and fight me then, shouted Aya. Shut up, shouted Nami as she struggled to hold Aya back. I let my guard down. That was a weak move. Zoro muttered as he gripped his wound, trying to stop the bleeding as more blood began to pool out, falling to the ground. Luffy clenched his teeth tightly as he glared angrily at the laughing clown pirate. Stabbing him in the back was a cowardly move, you big nose, screamed Luffy at the top of his lungs. Everyone went silent and stared at the Straw Hat Captain, eyes wide and their mouths dropped. What's that? Did you say big nose? Yelled Buggy as he threw his weapon at Luffy. Luffy, yelled Zoro. Luffy smirked and looked up, showing the dagger that was now clenched in between his teeth. Hey, buddy, I'm gonna kick your butt as soon as I get out of this cage. He laughed. Luffy bit down on the dagger, breaking it in half. Buggy began howling in laughter. You kick my butt. That's big talk, boy. If you want to do some butt kicking, you better do it quick. All 4 of you will die here by my hands, said the clown pirate as he continued to laugh, his crew joining him as well. Zoro glared at him. Luffy threw his head back and began to laugh. Buggy and the others stopped laughing. I refuse to die. Zoro, get up, yelled Luffy. What? Asked Zoro in disbelief. You better have a good reason or else we're dead, yelled Nami. Luffy smiled at her, then looked back at Zoro. The swordsman blinked, then he smirked. I gotcha, he said. Nami nearly fell over. This is why I hate pirates, she thought, worriedly. Buggy suddenly charged at Zoro, and the two began to fight. Blades clash against each other. Then, unexpectedly, Zoro jumps over him and made a dash towards the Buggy cannon. He lifted the cannon and aimed it at the clown pirates. Zoro fell back on his knees, placing hands on his wound, sweating dripping down his face. Aya walked over to the cannon and Nami tossed her the matches. She lit the match, holding it in front of her. Captain Buggy and the rest of his crew members gaped in horror. No, don't aim it at us. It still has a buggy ball, yelled Buggy. Bye-bye, said Aya as she smirked and waved. The fuse was lit and the cannon fired. The buggy ball shot out of the cannon and fired straight towards the clown pirates, wiping them out and scattering them. Zoro lifted the cage with Luffy inside of it. Zoro, are you okay? Asked Luffy in concern. He saw the blood dripping from his wound falling to the ground. SH, shut up and don't worry about me. I'll get us out of this one way or another, muttered the injured swordsman as he struggled to walk, dragging the cage along with him. Then he notices Nami. By the way, Luffy, who's the girl? Muttered Zoro. Yeah, who is she? Asked Aya. Your new girlfriend. Luffy blushed and he glared at her. Nami frowned. She is not my girlfriend, boyfriend. They both shouted together. Aya rolled her eyes and shrugged. She's our new navigator, said Luffy. Seriously, who are you guys? You shouldn't be moving on that kind of injury, said Nami. A vein appeared on Zoro's head as he lifted the cage above his head with all his might. Get out of the way, he snapped. Nami blinked. Even with a serious injury, he still doesn't want to leave his friends, she thought as she turned away and started walking away. Zoro carried the cage, with Aya following until they made it to the village square. He fell flat on his back on the ground, exhausted. He panted and breathed heavily, trying to catch his breath. You okay? Asked Aya. Just need to rest, panted Zoro. For some reason, Zoro felt like he was being watched. He opened his eyes and saw a little white dog sitting in front of the three. What's with his dog? Asked Zoro with his eyebrows raised. Luffy's eyes lit up as soon as he saw the dog. Doggy, squealed Luffy as he teetered his cage closer towards the canine. He pulled his eyelid in the corner of his lip, making faces at the dog. Bleh. The dog didn't move a muscle. Zoro, this dog looks frozen, said Luffy. Zoro rolled his eyes. I don't give a damn. He can sit there forever for all I care, he muttered. Aya walked over to the dog and bent down, petting it. It still didn't move, not reacting, as she continued to pet it. Aya frowned. What a weird dog, she said to herself. Luffy giggled as he gently tapped the dog on the head with his finger. The dog immediately opened his mouth and sank his teeth on Luffy's head. And then they church. You damn mutt. What the hell? Yelled Luffy. Aya laughed as Luffy tried to shake the dog off from his hand. Stop laughing, yelled Luffy. Why didn't not bite you, but me? Aya giggled. Maybe he just doesn't like you, she said. Luffy growled. Luffy, get serious. Or Zoro tried to get up but fell back to the ground. The white dog jumped back into its guarding position. Damn mutt, muttered Luffy, holding his hand in pain. I don't feel so good, groaned Zoro. Nami walked over and Luffy grinned as he saw her. Oh, hey, navigator, he said cheerily. Nami smiled. I guess I should give you this. After all, you got me out of a sticky situation. Just make sure that this makes us even, she said. Nami tossed the key to Luffy's cage to the Straw Hat Pirate. Awesome, you stole this from me. Thanks, Nami, said Luffy as he reached for the key. But a pink tongue lapped it up as the white dog swallowed it whole. Zoro, Nami, and Luffy stared at the dog in shock. Aya snickered. Luffy grabbed the dog and started strangling it as he shook it wildly. You damn mutt, give me back my key. Give it, give it, give it, yelled Luffy. Hey, stop that. Stop picking on poor Choo-Choo and leave him alone, yelled a voice. The four turned and saw a man with white curly hair and glasses. And just who are you, old man? Asked Zoro. The man glared at the four. Old man, I happen to be the mayor of this town, he said. Then he noticed Zoro's wound and gave a concerned look. My, that's some injury. You need to see a doctor, said the old man. The mayor came out of his house that he led Zoro into and walked over to Luffy. Nami, Aya, and Choo-Choo, will Zoro be okay? Asked Luffy, worried. The mayor sighed. I insisted he see a doctor, but he said he just wanted to sleep it off. He said, so this dog's name is Choo-Choo? Asked Nami as she petted the dog's head. Why is he acting so frozen? He sure is one lazy dog, joked Luffy. He's protecting the store, said the mayor. The three tilted their heads. Choo-Choo used to belong to owner of the pet shop, but he passed away and he's been guarding it ever since, thinking that he will come back. I've tried to get him to live with me, but that dog's very adamant about protecting that store. Like it's his most precious treasure, explained the mayor. Aya looked at the dog sadly. Suddenly, the ground started to shake unexpectedly. A loud roaring sound was heard. The mayor ran away and Nami and Aya chased after him. It eventually stopped. Luffy sighed. Come on, doggy, something's here, he said. The dog just stared at him, not moving an inch. Then, suddenly, a shadow towered over Luffy and he looked up. Blood-red eyes stared back into his as a giant lion stood over him. It had white fur and a purplish mane, and there was also a man with white hair, sitting on top of the lion's head in a furry suit. Who the hell are you? Asked Luffy, calmly, not even fazed by the gigantic beast. I am known as the Beast Tamer Moji, a member of the Buggy Pirates. Now, prepare to face your death, yelled the white-haired man. Luffy blinked and the lion slammed its paw down, busting the cage, sending Luffy flying through the air. Gum gum, yelled Luffy as he tied his hands around the lion's mane and threw him over his shoulder. Hammer, yelled Luffy as he slammed the lion into the ground. Luffy's hat got knocked off in the process. He bent down and picked it up. What are you? Yelled Moji, completely terrified at what he had just witnessed. Luffy had his head lowered as his hat casted a shadow over his face. He looked up with a frown. Well, I ate the gum gum fruit, he said in a low tone. Moji flinched. So, you ate a devil fruit like Captain Buggy. Only yours make you stretch like rubber. I'm sorry, I don't want any trouble, yelled Moji. Luffy had his back to the lion tamer. There's no need to apologize to me. Because of you, that little dog will never get back his most precious treasure. And because of that, Luffy turned to him with a serious look in his eyes. I'm gonna kick your butt, he snarled. Luffy grabbed the man by the chest and slammed him to the ground. Luffy walked back to the pet shop that was completely demolished. Choo-Choo was staring at it. Oh, so you are alive, pirate. I thought that lion would rip your head off. But since it didn't, maybe I should. Then there be one less of you monsters to exist, yelled Nami as she ran with hatred in her eyes. The mayor and I rushed after her. Stop, there's no need for violence, said the mayor as he grabbed Nami's arm. As if you could kill me, said Luffy as he walked past them. I could if I wanted to, yelled Nami. Try it and you die, said Aya. Nami glared at her. What did you say to me? She yelled. That I can kick your butt and will if you try anything to my brother, said Aya coldly. Nami stared at her with wide eyes. Luffy ignored them as he walked over to the dog. He lifted his hat and under was a bag of dog food. He placed in front of the dog and sat down next to him. Sorry, but that was all I could save. That bastard lion ate up all the rest, said Luffy, grinning at the white dog. He fought the lion to save Choo-Choo's food, thought Nami as she stared in wide eyes in surprise. You fought well, though I didn't see it. You're a really brave doggy, said Luffy as he petted Choo-Choo's head. The dog grabbed the box of dog food and carried it off. It let out a happy bark. Luffy grinned. "Yeah, good luck to you, doggy," he said. "Hey, sorry for snapping at you like that, Luffy," apologized Nami as she walked over. Luffy grinned and he stood up. "It's okay. You've just been under a lot of stress, so there's no need to apologize," he said. "It's all my fault. I'm the one who runs this town and I failed to protect it." "I failed," yelled the mayor. Suddenly, there was an explosion as the mayor's house was destroyed. Luffy's and Aya's eyes widened in shock. "Zoro was in that building," cried Luffy. He rushed over the demolished building and began pulling and digging through the rubble. Zoro, are you okay? Please be alright. Please be alright," yelled Luffy. "He's probably dead by now," said the mayor. "Don't say that," said Aya. No, Zoro is okay. He's stronger than he looks. He's not dead. No way," yelled Luffy. "Oh, that's one good way to wake up," muttered a low, gruff voice. Zoro groaned as he sat up, rubbing his head. Luffy quickly ran over to him, hugging him. "You're alive," he cheered. Zoro cringed as he felt some of Luffy's snot fall on him. "Gee, get off of me, idiot," shouted the swordsman as he tried to pry the rubber boy off of him. Aya laughed. "That's it. I'll defeat Buggy and his crew once and for all," yelled the mayor as he sprinted away. "Dear God, what is this world coming to? That guy's going to get himself killed," muttered Nami. Zoro stood up with Luffy, who still had his arms wrapped around him, clinging onto him tightly. "Then I guess we're gonna go help him out. Right, Luffy?" asked Zoro. Luffy grinned. "You bet. Are you coming, Nami?" asked Luffy as he held his hand out to her. Nami slapped it away. "I would never stoop so low to join a pirate crew." However, the orange-haired girl smirked. "I guess we could team up in order to reach our goals," she said. Luffy smiled and nodded in agreement. The four ran through the town until they saw Buggy along with the mayor. Buggy had his hands around the old man's throat as he choked him. Luffy shot out his fist, stretching his arm, and slammed it into Buggy's face, making the clown pirate let go of the mayor, knocking him back. Zoro stood next to him with his black bandana tied on his head. Nami stood beside Luffy with a smile on her face. Luffy looked up at Buggy with a smirk, tilting his hat. "Good to see you again, Buggy. Now, what was that promise I made to you?" "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kick your butt," he yelled with a determined look on his face. Captain Buggy glared at Luffy as he held his cheek in pain. He gritted his teeth as he seethed in rage. "Damn you, Straw Hat," yelled Buggy. "How dare you? You can't just walk up and treat me like that. I'm Captain Buggy and I won't stand for it," he shouted. The mayor coughed as he grabbed his throat, trying to catch his breath. Nami turned to the swordsman. "Remember, all I want is the chart and the treasure." "You got it," said Nami. "Yeah, I know," said Zoro. The mayor looked at Zoro, Luffy, Nami, and Aya. He frowned. "You brats, why'd you follow me? You outsiders should mind your own business. This is my fight. I'm gonna be the one to protect my people and town. Buggy is my fight," he shouted angrily. Luffy walked up to him and kicked the mayor on the side of his head, sending him flying into a brick wall. He slumped to the ground as he fell unconscious. Nami gasped in shock. "What the hell do you think you're doing? Why did you do that to the mayor?" she yelled. "Because he was in the way," said Luffy as he looked at her. Aya nodded her head in agreement. "It's best this way. If he'd fought, he would have been killed or caught in the crossfire," she said. Zoro nodded his head. Nami frowned in disapproval and sighed. "Still, you didn't need to be so rough with him," said Nami. "There are other ways of handling the situation." Luffy ignored her and walked over to the building where Captain Buggy and the clown pirates, who were standing on top of the roof. Luffy smirked mischievously as he looked directly at the clown captain. "Here goes," said Luffy as he took in a deep breath. He big nose. He screamed. All of Buggy's pirate crew, including himself, gaped shock as their jaws dropped. Nami cringed. Zoro smirked. Aya snickered as she saw the look on their faces. "That's the worst thing you could have said to him," shouted Nami. Veins began to appear on Buggy's face as he glared at Luffy furiously. "The audacity. I won't stand for it. You're really pissing me off. Fire that Buggy ball. Kill him. Kill them all." Now, Captain Buggy shouted. The crew aimed a cannon at the four. Why did you say that, you idiot? Said Nami as she took off to get away from the cannon's line of fire. Come on, Luffy, we gotta go, said Zoro, worried. Luffy didn't move from his spot. He smirked. You two go. I'll be fine. Just watch, said Luffy. Aya shook her head, not moving as well. I want to stay and watch too, said Aya. Zoro clenched his teeth in frustration. You're both crazy. We need to move now, he shouted. Fire now, shouted the clown captain. The cannon went off and headed straight towards Luffy. That won't work on me, said Luffy as he smirked. Come gum balloon, he shouted. Then Luffy began to blow up as he began to inflate himself. The cannon collided into him as he caught the buggy ball, completely unharmed from the blast. Zoro and Nami stared completely dumbfounded, as well as the rest of the clown pirates. What is he? Shouted Buggy's crew members, shocked. He caught the buggy ball, shouted Captain Buggy. Luffy smirked. Then he launched the buggy ball back towards the pirates as it rebounded back towards them. Their eyes widened in horror as the ball came closer towards them. He's throwing it back, shouted the crew members as they tried to scramble away, trying to get out of the line of fire. Run, hide, do something. Aya felt someone grab her wrist, and she looked to see that it was Zoro. He dragged her away from Luffy as the cannonball sailed closer towards the building. Damn it, we need to move now, he shouted as he and Aya ran, taking cover. The buggy ball hit the building, destroying it, scattering the clown pirates. Zoro, Aya, and Nami managed to shield themselves from the blast as they took cover. They saw that the building was destroyed and Buggy's pirates were unconscious. All right, it hit them, said the Straw Hat Captain. What the hell are you? Shouted Nami. A little warning would have been nice, growled Zoro. Luffy giggled. Nami scratched her head in frustration. Suddenly, the rubble began to move and the four looked to see Buggy coming out of the pile, holding two of his men as shields. How dare you do that to us? He growled as he tossed the crew members away. Nami frowned in disgust. Unreal, he used his underlings as a shield, she said. Zoro, Aya, and Luffy frowned as well. Lying on the ground of the destroyed building, Moji began to wake up. He quickly stood up and wildly looked around, confused. What's going on here? He asked. Then his eyes landed on Luffy. Moji's eyes widened in fear. It's you, he stammered in fear. Luffy smiled. Hi, he said as he waved at him. Captain, you have to be careful, he's got devil fruit powers. I saw it myself, said Moji in a panicked voice to his captain. Buggy frowned. That explains how he survived that buggy ball, he said as he looked at Luffy. Then he began to smile sadistically, delighted with the thought of fighting with another devil fruit user. This should be interesting, he said to himself. Moji tried to protest, but he heard something from behind him. Captain, what's with all the ruckus? A voice called out. The four saw a man holding Moji's lion, with his hair tied back partly while one side was shaved. He was wearing a blue and white checkered scarf, a sleeveless purple coat that reached down to his knees, white pants being held up by a light blue sash, and white shoes. Tabaji, how nice of you to join us, said Buggy as he smirked sickeningly. Tabaji, you put him down right now, shouted Moji angrily as he saw the man holding his lion. He tossed the giant lion aside and it cowered behind the remains of the brick walls from the building. In fear, Moji charged at Kabaji, getting ready to throw a punch, but he kicked the tamer away, sending him flying towards Luffy. Out of my way, screamed Moji. Luffy smirked. How about you then, he kicked Moji. Get out of my way, shouted Luffy as Moji's face crashed into a wall. He slid to the ground with a thud. Kabaji smirked as he and Buggy watched. Captain Buggy, allow me to pay their disrespect, asked Kabaji. Fine, but make it a good show for everyone, said Bunny. Kabaji smirked as he looked at the four. Get them, shouted Bunny. Kabaji brought out a unicycle from out of his coat and charged at Luffy with his sword in hand. You may call me Acrobat Kabaji, Captain Buggy's chief of staff. You will pay for your insolence, he shouted, just as he brought his sword down on Luffy. It was blocked by another, by Zoro's. Since you're using a sword, I'll be your opponent, said the swordsman. It's an honor, Roronoa Zoro. I'll fight you as a swordsman. I'll relish the chance to slay you, said Kabaji. Then he looked down at Zoro's wound as blood began to stain through the swordsman's clothes as the wound reopened. Hey, Zoro, you really should get some rest. Let me handle it. Luffy protested, but Zoro interrupted. Just stay back. I need to do this, he said as he looked at Luffy. The Straw Hat Captain stared at him for a moment before nodding his head. Zoro nodded back in appreciation, then turned his attention towards Kabaji. The Acrobat had a sickening smirk on his face. Aya frowned, concerned. Something wasn't right. What was he up to? Kabaji smirked. Before Zoro could counter, he blew fire into Zoro's face. Then Swordsman managed to deflect some of it away with his swords. But Kabaji came at him quickly and swinged his leg, hitting Zoro's wound. Luffy, Nami, and Aya gasped as Zoro screamed in pain and fell to the ground. He hissed as he held his side, glaring at the Acrobat. Kabaji chuckled darkly. I'm guessing you didn't have time to heal, said the Acrobat. He fights dirty, going after his injury like that, said Nami, disgusted. What a cheater. I'm going to kick his butt, shouted Aya. She gritted her teeth in anger. Aya was about to rush in, but Luffy held her back as he placed his arm out in front of her. Aya looked and saw that he had a calm look on his face. Then she looked back towards Zoro lying on the ground. As much as she wanted to help her friend, Aya couldn't. Zoro had placed his trust in Luffy that they wouldn't interfere with the fight. The swordsman had to prove that he had to do this on his own. Then Kabaji stabbed the ground with the tip of his sword. He began to spin around, faster, faster, and faster until a cloud of dust began to form. Hiding himself. Acrobat, my butt, that's just an ordinary dust cloud, said Zoro. Then in flash, Zoro narrowly deflected Kabaji's sword as it almost stabbed him. Then Kabaji swings his leg and hits Zoro's wound again. Zoro howled in agony as he felt the burning pain on his left side. He did it again, shouted Nami. You were foolish to fight me. Kabaji laughed as he watched Zoro lying at his feet as he howled and rolled around in pain. Luffy clenched his fists tightly while Aya glared at the Acrobat. He keeps fighting with such a bad injury. He's hurt so bad. I don't understand how he can stand to fight, said Nami to herself. Then she turned her head sharply looking at Luffy. Why are you just standing there watching? He's going to get himself killed, you know, she shouted while Luffy gazed at Zoro firmly, ignoring her. Kabaji smirked as he raised his sword. He's finished, he said as he charged towards Zoro. Come, you bastard, said Zoro as he got up from the ground. Having fun picking at my wound? Then go ahead. He glared darkly at Kabaji as the Acrobat continued to charge towards the swordsman. Everyone gasped as Kabaji sliced right through Zoro's wound as the swordsman didn't move, not even flinching. Why didn't he dodge his attack? Asked Nami. Is that enough of a handicap for you? Zoro lifted his head as he smirked, threateningly. Then me show you just how superior my skills are to yours. Kabaji reeled back as Zoro's cold glare sent shivers down his spine. Yeah, Zoro, get him, cheered Luffy. You've made a vast error of judgment. I won't be mocked, growled Kabaji. I'm going to be the world's greatest swordsman. I refuse to lose to someone like you, who calls himself a swordsman, said Zoro as he pulled out his katana that had a white sheath. Brave words for someone who's about to die, said Kabaji as he pointed his sword at Zoro. If I lose to you, then I don't have very bright future ahead of me. Do I? Said Zoro as he placed the white sword, clenching it between his teeth. Why, you little. Kabaji growled, grinding his teeth angrily. All right, yeah, cheered Luffy. Yo, kick his butt, cheered Aya. Nami stared at the two twins in disbelief. I won't stay and watch this, said Nami as she began to walk away. And it doesn't even matter to me whether you guys win or lose. I'm going to take this opportunity to swipe their treasure and get out of here. Maybe we can team up if we see each other again. Bye. Luffy watched her as she left. Yo, thanks, Suya, shouted Luffy as he turned back towards Zoro's fight. Kabaji held his hand out and spinning tops shot out towards Zoro. Zoro dodged out of the way while deflecting some with his katanas. Nami was walking down an alleyway looking for Buggy's treasure hideout. Then she stopped and looked back thinking about Luffy, Zoro, and Aisle. Those guys are not normal. They're completely crazy. Nothing good will come from it, she said to herself. Then she ran off. Nami stopped and saw a door that was hidden behind a pile of wood. She opened it and walked down the stairs until she stopped when the thief saw a guard sleeping in a chair. Passed out drunk, Nami sneaked past him until she stopped at a door that was locked. She took out her staff. "Here we are. Now to steal their treasure and chart and get out of here," said Nami as she broke the lock off the door. Zoro sliced the tops that came out at him with ease until he stopped when he saw Cabaji smirked. The Acrobat rode straight up the walls. Zoro watched, wondering what he was up to. He sees Cabaji leap off the wall high into the air. "Wow, that's high," said Luffy as he watched Cabaji flying from above, shielding his eyes from the sun with his hand. He and Aya sees Cabaji coming down with his sword at Zoro. Buggy smirks and holds his right arm out. "Chop chop cannon," he yells. His hand detached itself and launched towards the swordsman. "Cabaji, I'll hold him. Finish him off," Buggy shouted. "Aye aye, Captain," Cabaji shouted as he came down on Zoro. Zoro's eyes widened as he saw the hand coming at him. He had no time to dodge both. However, a foot slammed down hard on Buggy's hand as Aya stepped down on it. Buggy screeched in pain. "You stay out of this, coward," shouted Aya. "Aya," shouted Zoro, shocked. "You bum," shouted Buggy as he glared at her angrily. Luffy giggled gleefully. He walked up next to Aya, cracking his knuckles. "You want to fight someone?" asked Luffy, with a wide grin on his face. "How about us?" Buggy backed up looking at the two twins nervously. Aya smirked. "I am so going to enjoy this," she said with a wicked grin on her face. Nami lit a lamp that she found. She squealed with glee as soon as she saw the gleaming treasure before her. "Look at all of this stuff, and every last bit of it is mine." She scooped up some of the coins and jewels and they ran down her in between fingers as they fell back into the pile. She smiled as she picked up a crown and placed it on her head. Suddenly, she saw a sword appeared next to her face. "What do you think you're doing with our treasure?" a slurred voice called out from behind her. Nami turned around, dropping the crown. The drunken pirate had woken up. "Oh shoot, he woke up," thought Nami to herself, nervously. "By order of Captain Buggy, anyone who gets near the treasure will..." The drunk pirate paused and looked down at his drink but whined, seeing that it was empty. "Ugh, it's all gone," he grumbled to himself. Nami smirked as he was distracted. She kneeled down holding her chest, groaning in pain. "Oh, it hurts," she moaned. "Hey, you all right?" asked the pirate, confused. "My chest starting hurting really bad." "What, your chest?" The pirate down and saw the swell of Nami's breasts as she pulled down her shirt, revealing her cleavage. The pirate blushed and began to drool, perversely. Nami smirked as she took out her staff and hit the pirate right in between his legs. He fell like a sack of potatoes to the floor, knocked out. Nami giggled until she saw a chain of keys around the pirate's neck. She took them and walked over to a chest and opened it. Inside was a rolled-up piece of paper. She smiled as she took it out. "Yes, the chart of the Grand Line," shouted Nami happily. Aya pressed down harder on Buggy's hand. The clown captain gritted his teeth in pain. He glared at her and Luffy as the two stood in front of him. Zoro watched as he kneeled on the ground, panting, and a little faint from the blood loss. "I assure you I don't need my captain to finish you off," said Cabaji. "Enough, I'm tired of this," said Zoro as he panted with each breath. Cabaji laughed. "So you've finally given up, have you?" the Acrobat stated. "I think you've misunderstood. I'm tired of watching your boring little sideshow," said Zoro. Cabaji grinded his teeth as he glared at Zoro, angrily. "So sorry to disappoint you. How about a real sword fight?" "Die!" exclaimed Cabaji. He made a mad dash towards the swordsman. Zoro crossed his two swords across his chest while the white one was in his mouth. He slashed horizontally as Cabaji charged straight through him. The two stood back to back from each other until Zoro dropped to his knees, falling to the ground. Suddenly, blood spurted out from Cabaji's chest. "K-U-B-J-I," shouted Buggy in disbelief. "I can't believe that I was defeated by petty thieves," said the Acrobat as he fell from his unicycle and collapsed onto the ground as he went unconscious. "We aren't petty thieves. We're pirates," grunted Zoro. Then he collapsed on the ground as well, completely exhausted. "Luffy, Aya, I'm going to sleep," he said. Then he closed his eyes and began snoring loudly. "Okay, I'm looking forward to this," said Luffy as he turned to Buggy, grinning wildly. "Oh, so am I," said Aisle as she smirked. Buggy growls as he looks at the two twins. Nami dragged a large sack of treasure, lugging it behind her as she struggled to pull it. It was incredibly heavy. She stopped and panted, taking a rest. Nami wiped the sweat off from her forehead. "I scored an impressive treasure from the Buggy pirates, but hauling treasure is tiring. But I guess it's worth the effort, though." Suddenly, Luffy, Zoro, and Aisle appeared in her mind. She was confused. Pirates fighting for other people, risking their lives instead of for themselves. No ordinary pirates would do that. She brushed her thoughts away and stood up. "Anyway, I need to find a boat so I can hightail it out of here," said Nami. Just as she was about to grab the sack, Luffy appeared in her mind again. Nami shook her head in frustration. Nothing good will come out of it. He's a dirty, no-good pirate, just like all the rest, thought Nami to herself. Then she looked back to where the fight was with a distant look on her face. Buggy looked at Luffy, then at Aisle, eyeing them cautiously to see who would make a move first. He felt like a cornered animal as he backed up away from them. Then two twins smirked and cracked their knuckles. "You guys are pirates?" asked Buggy. "Yeah, we're heading to the Grand Line," replied Luffy. "Huh, that's not an easy voyage, you know. I don't think you have what it takes. And what will you do if you, by some miracle, make it there? Go on a sightseeing tour or something?" Buggy laughed. "The king, queen of the pirates," said the two twins, unfazed. Buggy stopped laughing as he stared at them in shock. "You can't be serious, you idiots. I'm going to be king of the pirates," he said, baring his teeth angrily. "You're annoying. Let's go ahead and settle this," said Luffy, getting into a fighting stance. Aya got into a fighting stance as well. "Yeah, stop yapping and let's get to fighting," she said. Buggy pulled out 8 knives. "Seeing that Straw Hat really makes my blood boil. So bring it on, you wannabe pirates," said Buggy, getting redder and redder by the minute. "You remind me of him. That damn sneaky red hair pirate." The two twins' eyes widened in shock as they lowered their hands slightly. "What did you say?" asked Luffy. "Red hair," questioned Aisle. "Wait, are you saying that you knew Shanks?" demanded Luffy. "That's right," growled Buggy. "Do you know where he is now?" asked Aisle. "I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I don't," said Buggy, looking menacingly. Aya growled in annoyance. "What are you talking about? Did you forget?" said Luffy. Aya placed her hand on her forehead as she facepalmed herself. "I suppose ignorance is bliss, especially when it comes to Luffy," thought Aya to herself. "No, I didn't forget, you moron," shouted Buggy at Luffy. Luffy grinned. "Fine, I'll make you tell us," he shouted. "You can try, but you'll be dead before you get a chance to ask." "Rubber can't bounce back knives," said Buggy. Then he looked at Aya. "I will cut you into little ribbons, little girl." Aya laughed. "You wish," said Aya. Buggy growled. He stomps his shoes, making knives appear out of them. Then he throws his lower half at Aya, cartwheeling on the ground. Aya narrowly dodges out of the way in time. Then Buggy threw daggers straight at her, but Luffy catches them between his fingers. "Did you forget? You fighting me as well?" asked Luffy as he tossed the blades aside. "Ho, ho, how interesting," said Buggy. Luffy giggled. "You're not so bad yourself, but it's my turn now." "Gum gum pistol," shouted Luffy as he leaped into the air, throwing his fist back. "I can predict your attack in the air," said Buggy. He moved out of the way just as Luffy crashed down, creating a crater in the ground. "Shut up, you idiot," shouted Luffy as he charged at Buggy, throwing his fist back, but Buggy separated his head from his body, dodging the attack. "Damn it, stop breaking into pieces," growled Luffy. Buggy laughed. Aya frowned and groaned in frustration. "This is going nowhere. How can we beat him?" she thought to herself. "I can't believe they're still fighting. These three are insane," said Nami, watching from afar, hiding behind the corner of a building. In the middle of the fight, some of the Buggy pirates have woke up. "Did you see that?" one of them said. "Be quiet. Act like you're still unconscious. If we get involved in this, we'll never make it out of here alive," said the other. All of them began sweating nervously as they silently watched, pretending to be knocked out. Buggy shoots his arm with 4 daggers at Aya. She catches it, but then she froze when she saw Buggy smirk. "Why is he smirking?" thought Aya to herself. Separate, shouted Buggy as he detached his fist from his wrist. I tried to maneuver out of the way but managed to get a scratch on her cheek while Luffy had a scratch on his temple. Buggy laughed hysterically. How do you like that, you cocky brats? He shouted in a taunting tone. You ready to give up yet? Then his expression changed into a frown when he didn't receive a reply from the two of them. Blood began to run down the side of Luffy's face. He had a darkened look in his eyes as he held his hat. On the edge there was a small cut. Aya cringed at his expression. Then she turned towards the clown pirate. You don't up. Big time, said Aya. You bastard, screamed Luffy. Buggy nearly jumped, startled by Luffy's shout at him. You mad that I scratched your face? Buggy snickered, not realizing what he had just done. Luffy glared at him, clenching the hat tightly in his hand. Bastard, how dare you damage this hat? No one damages my lucky hat and gets away with it. This hat is my only treasure. I won't forgive anyone who so much as lay a finger on it, roared Luffy angrily. Buggy raised an eyebrow in surprise at the boy. Nami was stunned as she watched, and here I thought he couldn't take anything seriously. But just look at him, he's getting so upset over a scratch in his hat, she murmured as she continued to watch. Luffy grinded his teeth angrily. Buggy made a wicked smile. It seems that hat has a history to it. Is it really all that special? He asked. Luffy didn't answer him as he continued to glare furiously at him. However, the two twins were unaware that there was a floating hand behind them as it throws two daggers. Luffy saw the attack and quickly jumped out of the way. Aya manages to jump out of the way as well, but the dagger slices through her necklace as the chain got caught around it, retreating as it reattached itself back onto the clown pirate. If it's that important, you should protect it properly, shouted the clown pirate. To Luffy's horror, another hand shot out at fast speed, and before he could react, it grabbed his hat and it was ripped away from him. Luffy hit the ground with a thud as the hand retreated back towards the clown pirate. Buggy grinned wildly at the two twins as he held their treasures. How is this tattered hat a treasure? Nature. Treasure is sparkling gold, silver, and jewels, like this necklace. Buggy smirked as he looked at it closer. Aya gritted her teeth angrily. Give it back, she growled. As Buggy inspected the necklace further, his eyes widened as they bulged in pure shock. Then he looked back at Aya. He went completely pale. Why do you have one of the 9 pieces of 8? Shouted Buggy. He stared at the girl in disbelief. I don't care what it is. You better give it back, shouted Aya. Give it back, right now, and you give me back Shanks' hat. You bastard, shouted Luffy. Buggy looked at the hat in his hand. You really consider this worthless dirty straw hat a treasure? You need to grow up. He laughed. Shut up, shouted Luffy. That's Shanks' hat. He gave it to me and I promised to give it back. You better give me back my necklace right now as well, said Aya darkly. What, you mean to tell me that this used to be Shanks' hat? Asked Buggy in disgust. No wonder it looked so familiar. Then he threw the hat on the ground. He always wore it when I knew him, said Buggy. Luffy gasped. Aya's eyes widened in shock. They were on the same ship together. You and Shanks were on the same ship. Yeah, back when we were pirates in training. We were fellow comrades. That damned, detestable, red-haired bastard. Then Buggy crushed the hat underneath his foot as he stomped on it. Shanks is a better man than you'll ever be. You have no right to call him comrade, and don't you ever badmouth him again, shouted Luffy as he ran towards the clown pirate. He threw his fist back to punch Buggy in the face, but he saw it coming. Buggy detaches his head from his body, but Luffy quickly reacted and swung his leg and kicked the clown pirate right in the gut. Buggy wheezed as he cursed himself for falling for Luffy's trick. He fell to the ground and reattached himself back together. Buggy coughed and wheezed as he tried to catch his breath. Then Luffy grabbed his shirt and lifted him into the air. Don't you ever mention Shanks' name again, you bastard, shouted Luffy. I can say what I want about Shanks, you little brat, said Buggy. Tell me what happened between you and Shanks. Where is he? Hissed Luffy. Damn it, how dare you do that to my hat? Do you really want to know? Asked Buggy as his eyes flashed in fury. He is the one person I loathe. I will curse his name for the rest of my life. As long as there is breath in my body, I will never forgive him.